So you guys need to stop wasting money on Facebook ads that just don't work. Like my agency spends over $5 million every single month on Facebook ads and over $1 million for our brand Cure Skincare. Now I created this spherical scaling system that allows us to do this, allows us to do this so profitably, and especially in 2025. So it doesn't matter if you're spending, let's say, $10 a day or even $10,000 a day. This is exactly how I'd run the playbook in 2025 for Facebook if I'd start all over again. So I'm going to show you how the system actually works, and stick around until the end because I'm going to show you this ad formula that's absolutely crushing for us that no one's really even talking about. Now, to show you, this is in February at our store. It's normally a bit of a quiet month, but just to show you some social proof that, I know what I'm talking about. And this is the spend levels in that same month, as you can see here. Okay, so let's get into it. Like, why is Facebook becoming so challenging, especially this year? Well, CPMs are rising, everyone's ROAS is declining, buyer sentiment is down, and CPMs at an all-time high, especially in these like super competitive verticals like skincare, wellness, and fitness. And ad costs just increase faster than most brands have the ability to improve, conversion rates or they're crushing ROAS. Another big problem is the creative fatigue, right? It's creatives like fatiguing faster than ever, and audiences like burning out, and ads like last, a lot shorter. The shorter attention spans, it's more competition, and winning creative just dies in days and not weeks, and that's extremely costly parts of the business. You have to consistently create new creatives, and you probably heard that, you know, creative is the new targeting, but no one's actually given you the playbook on how to do it. And all this lack of performance comes down to lack of creative strategy. And this is where a lot of, I think, ecom founders that I coach inside ecom architects and one-on-one, I try and get them to put a lot of the energy and attention and focus on. It's probably the highest leverage skill that you guys need to learn in-house. And I see a lot of brands like try and outsource it towards agencies, which I think is a huge mistake because a lot of ecom brands are sales and marketing companies and they're outsourcing the sales and marketing, which is a big no-no in my books. So that's what you guys teach you in ecom architects is really how to dial down your creative diversity. But anyway, what we're trying to do here is appeal to the Facebook algorithm, right? Facebook is looking for diverse creatives. It wants better creatives to serve to more relevant people. That's its whole game. So what does that mean for us as marketers? Well, our ads need to be more specific. And if they're more specific, each angle actually attacks like a different sector that the algo supplies ads to. And a new angle means new visitors. New visitors equals more profit. New angle is new product. They're untapped, right? Resources. So this is what the scaling spherical system looks like, right? First, we have a problem. We have the problem or a desire. Let's say problem in our case, right? Some might have acne, but, and I learned this from a mentor called Jason Horning about 10 years ago. He was like the OG at Facebook at the time. I was paying like 10 grand a month to consult to myself and our team. And he helped us a lot. And a lot of the stuff that he was talking about 10 years ago is so relevant today, if not even more so. And he taught me about this like spherical model that he would use. Essentially, he would dissect the problems. But you have to understand that the way people relate to a problem is always very different. For example, someone has acne, but they might refer to it as hormonal acne. Someone might refer to it as cystic acne. Someone might refer to it as acne scars or ice pick scars or maskne, acne from masks. So if you're not very clear for your messaging, even though your product is solving that problem, if you don't speak to the audience in the language that they use to define their own problem, then it's not going to connect with them. And this is the biggest mistake people do in terms of creative strategy. They say, oh, if you have acne problem, but that's such a broad term. Do you know what I mean? It's not super relevant. And all the noise out there, all the different acne ads that are out there that people are getting bombarded in, you have to be so much more specific to cut through. Because there's this term called semantic satiation. That's essentially where when you hear the same message over and over again, your mind becomes numb to it, right? Like you don't really notice the message. So what we're trying to do in our marketing is try to cut through that semantic satiation sentiment in the mind and come with something really specific that stands out to the customer. And that's what we do with this system, right? So we have a real specific problem that we're going for, and then we pair up an avatar. And that is defined as an angle for us, okay? Problem plus avatar is angle. And then we pair them together, for example. So a teenager that has hormonal acne, that for us is an angle. An adult man that has acne scars when he was younger. An adult woman with hormonal acne, right? Gym goers with cystic acne, whatever it might be. Now you're probably getting the picture. And now once you have the angle, which is the problem plus the avatar, you have to think about the market potential, right? And in the market, your market potential is full of all these different angles. You can see this pie. If you could slice and dice this in so many different ways, right? Speak to so many different people. And this is why it's key in terms of how the algorithm works today. Because you can now have 100 different creatives spread out across 100 different angles, which will give you a lot more scale because it's a lot more relevant. That's the game today. That's why everyone's saying creative diversity, creative diversity. This is what creative diversity means. Okay. It means trying to split up as many angles as possible so you reach as many customers as possible. The days are gone where you can have one general angle and let Facebook do the rest. No, it doesn't work like that anymore. And then on top of that, we have awareness levels, right? So you have this is the total market potential. You have angle by angle, and you have different market awareness levels. And if you guys aren't aware, like the market awareness levels are unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, most aware. And in terms of the messaging, let's say most aware is someone that understands your product that exists, the problem they have, and then you're doing like offers, like 20% off your acne solution cream or whatever. When it's unaware, it's like, do you have these weird spots on your skin, but they're not aware of what the problem is and how it occurred and stuff like that? And what you find is that the unaware ads give you the most scale because they're approaching the biggest audience, where the most aware ads will give you the small scale. The most aware ads should give you the highest ROAS. The unaware ads should give you the lowest ROAS. Okay, because it's a it's a wider market versus a more narrow market. That's more maybe your retargeting audiences. So once we have an angle, which is a problem persona, we wanted to pair it with a stage of the market awareness, right? That's step one. Step one is step two. And then step three is all about iterations, hooks, right? You have visual, verbal, and text. So let's say you have a winning angle and a winning market awareness stage. This plus this. Then you can start scaling that out by creating different hooks, right? You can do a visual hook of the same thing, you can do a verbal hook, same thing, text hook, and mix it up. And that's creates a new format, right? That we're calling it. That's a format, that's a variation. And then you expand the formats even more. You do the same winning ad, but then try a green screen of it, try a podcast version of it, try different demographics that works for us, an Asian woman, a black woman, Caucasian woman, whatever it might be. Try in a mini VSL format. That's how you can start getting to scale, right? Because once again, for example, if you're targeting, let's say, hormonal acne to a teenager at an unaware level, okay, and you have an Asian teenager boy in the ad, that's going to appeal to more Asian-like teenagers. And then if you can switch that person out to a black male, that's going to appeal to a more black male audience, because an avatar is always going to reflect who they are in the ad. They can see what's relevant in them. And that's a big difference between someone, that's maybe an Asian or it's a black person, because they might think that that problem is different. If you're a young black male and you see an Asian lady with acne in the ad, you might think, oh, but that's a different type of acne. Do you know what I mean? They have different hormones, they're different ethnicity, and it might not work for me. These are all heuristics, which are psychological shortcuts that are going in the mind of the consumer. So that's it. Step one, angle. Step two, awareness level. Step three is you start creating variations for different hooks and different formats, right? That is the game. But now, how do you implement this into your own brand? Did I miss anything? No, I didn't. Okay. So research is a key fundamental part, right? Your own data, your competitors, Reddit, Amazon reviews, YouTube comments, post-purchase surveys, calling the customers is always the best, ChatGPT ideas. And when you go deep in the research, you see Reddit, particularly Reddit, when you're calling customers, then you start extracting the words they're using in terms of the actual, how do they relate to, their problem? What are the words they're using? And you'll start to find some little synchronicities between the people who are buying, and you can start using that language to form your actual ad copy and your angles research. And here's a pro tip: let's say your target demographic is a woman over 50 that's trying to look at pro aging, or she's looking at anti-aging things because she's fine lines and wrinkles. If you create an Instagram profile with that person, or give it to a friend that is that person, then get them to use the Instagram for 7 days and just see what ads starts getting served, right? Because that will serve as like your angle also research format, because you see all the different competitors trying to target that person based on different angles. And sometimes you can use the same angle as another competitor, but you have a different unique mechanism in order to solve that problem, which makes a big difference. So that's a little pro tip there that you can do. Then once you do that, then you go to script writing, right? And the format, in terms of the copy they use, success leaves clues. If you found some competitors that are doing well, make sure you stick to the format as close as possible, because I'm sure they've tested 200 different formats and they know what works. And then create custom scripts based on that. Make sure the visuals flow. I see a lot of people don't put a lot of emphasis on the visual and how it flows throughout the whole ad. They're just using cheap, B-roll or whatever. They're just shortcutting their way to try and get an ad up. But I think we're at a level now where the standard is so high for content that you need to make sure the visual flows beautifully, and it's like a symphony almost. You know what I mean, from start to finish. And then make sure you're doing 3 to 4 different hooks, and make sure you're doing them, visually, text driven, and also audio driven. 3 different ways, and use AI for to give you some more ideas. And I want you guys just to focus on the main things. Like the main part for you guys to unlock this spherical scaling system is to unlock new angles. Like that has to be a goal, to unlock new angles. And you'll see if anyone that uses any attribution software that your new customer visits starts to increase when you unlock new angles. Like I'll never forget when we used to do like fine lines and wrinkles and dark spots, and then we unlocked the acne angle. And all of a sudden, that acne angle, our new customer visits was like 20-30% higher than every other ad, because it's a whole new untapped angle that we're after. And of course, it allowed us to scale 20-30% in the ad account. So a whole new customer came in, whole new pool of people. That's what I'm trying to teach you guys. This is the way you win, okay? Unlock new angles. And then focus on different stages of awareness. Maybe your ads are fatiguing too quick because they're product aware, or they're up here. Where is it? Maybe they're product aware or most aware. Maybe they're solution aware, and that's where your ads are sitting, and that's why they're fatiguing a lot quicker. If you can get ads to work here, it's going to have a lot longer runway. And then, do hooks per awareness level, right? Focus on different hooks, because the hook is probably the most critical part in unlocking that stage of awareness for the ad. And then test different formats per angle, different people, different styles, UGC, podcast, VSL, green screen, you name it. Different avatars. Make sure that the avatars are consistent with the people that you're going for. And once again, be as specific as you can in terms of ethnicity, the age, everything. That all matters. And then here is literally one of, I think, the best ad formats that we are using that no one's really talking about. And it's like a mini VSL formula. And particularly, look, it's probably not relevant to a lot of niches, but for skincare, health, wellness, it definitely is. You want to start with a physical problem. What are the physical problems they have? If it's, once again, related to the acne example above, you speak about the different, indents on their skin, whatever. The emotional problem, how they're embarrassed to go out in public or whatever, or they can't get a boyfriend or girlfriend because of whatever it might be. Then the root cause of the problem. Then you talk about how the actual problem exists and how it happens, how did the person actually get acne. Then the root cause of the solution, right? How do you fix that problem? What are the unique mechanisms that you fix that problem? And then the physical benefit, what it looks like, and the emotional benefit, right? Now your skin clears up in 7 to 8 weeks. Now you can go find a boyfriend and girlfriend. Now you're not embarrassed to go outside in public, whatever it might be. And then the tools and techniques. You speak about your technology or your formula or your ingredients and how that helps to root cause the solution. And then you tie that to an authority figure, ideally. That could be an influencer, it could be a doctor, it could be a celebrity, whatever it might be, to add the element of trust. So that's a formula that's been working well for us. And that's a little bonus for you guys here today. Go out and try it. I think a lot of people that we coach inside the Ecom Architects, they use this formula to great success, and we have as well. So next steps, what you need to do is something to operationalize this video. Go and audit your current ads. Go see what angles are working, okay? And make like a spreadsheet so you can document all this. Then audit what market awareness levels are these ads targeting. If you don't know, just grab the script and put it into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT. And ask ChatGPT to create new angles based on different market awareness levels, right? And then look at the scaling them by adding formats to those same angles. Like how many different formats have you tried of that same angle? Then next, you want to create testing roadmaps to unlock your new angles. Like for the next 3 months, which are the most highest based on your research? Which angles prove to be the highest fidelity for you to unlock? And you need to dedicate time every single week or month to test new angles, because that's the way you're going to scale. So I hope that helped. And look, if you guys want additional help, you can just go to the ecomarchitects.com. We're helping a lot of brands scale. I think it's one of the world's best coaching program for e-commerce. We go over literally everything you can possibly think of when it comes to building an e-commerce brand, from brand strategy, finance, product development, creative strategy, scaling, you name it. We're in there. But I hope that helps. If it has, subscribe, because I'll be doing a lot more of these videos like this to help you guys, get to 8 figures and above. And yeah, see you guys in the next one.